Manchester United's secret weapon, a fast tracking of a young new academy player being brought through. I want to talk about Seun Kune because there are lots of reports going around and we haven't given him enough time and talked about him enough. But could he be the secret weapon for Manchester United, and particular Ten Hag this season? When we're talking about depth and we're talking about what players can actually come through and give some of the first team players a break, yes, we can talk about the quality of depth, but this kid is going to be the next best thing. If you listen to all of the speculation around, all of what we've said about Ineos, all of what we said about the timescale for Ten Hag through the last videos throughout today and into last night about what their decision will be around Ten Hag, is all based around having a plan in place and not panicking behind the scenes regarding what manager comes into Manchester United. They have everything set up, ready to move forward, just in case. But could this kid just come in time to salvage something for Erik Ten Hag? You only have to watch the actual videos, read the reviews of Seun Kune and what he can bring to Manchester United. I'm going to tell you about the reports, talking about his contract, what the setup is, and what his progress plan is under Christopher Vival. Interesting stuff indeed. The Europa League squad has been released. A few people confused as to why Menu and Garnacho weren't on the list. We'll explain that as well. Nothing to panic about. They are on it. Don't worry about that. The two Ballon d'Or nominees, in fact. So, yeah, we definitely need them. We do indeed. Manchester United looking for more staff, more directors, bigger shake-ups, and a little bit of an update on Manchester United's stadium plan and what's going on with Old Trafford. All of that into tonight's show. Welcome along, everyone. This is Forever United TV. If you haven't been here before and you're wondering what this is the best United channel out there. I think everyone can agree, especially the people in the room, because you're here because you love it. You might as well hit the subscribe button while you're at it if you haven't already. 50% of you haven't, according to YouTube, so please do, to make sure you miss out on nothing Manchester United content-wise, which is free here as well. Don't forget that. And because it's free, you might as well just give the video a like, can't you, people, while you're at it, just to cheer yourselves up. It's Thursday. International football starts tonight. Taking the mind off of what happened last weekend. Have we forgot about it yet? It's still bleeding lingering, isn't it? Like, the reports are still going on. All I'm seeing is bleeding Graham Souness this, Slot this, taking United apart this, Mo Salah. He's basically in the top 5 players to score goals at Old Trafford, including Man United players since 2021. I'm sick of it. Let's try and forget about it. I say that, and I've just filled your heads with all that information now and didn't really need to, so kind of a bit of a mistake from me going down that road. But let's get into the show anyway, everyone. Sorry for rambling on a little bit there. Thank you, everybody, as well, earlier in the show, who was with us around midday, who took us over that 58,000 subscriber mark. Thank you, everybody. Absolutely amazing stuff. I think over the month of August, we had near enough 6,000 new subscribers join the channel, which is amazing. Absolute crazy month August with everything that was going on, and we're looking to bring you the best content and make sure that the word spreads and we keep on growing here together on Forever United TV. Anyway, the news. What's happening? Hello, everyone. New members. We've already had one donated by Steve Brindle. I cannot remember because it's gone off my screen now. Oh, no. I have got it. Welcome to the Members Club, David Haney. Haney, sorry. And yes, thank you very much, Steve Brindle. Good to have you in the chat, my friends. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. We have an early super chat from Lee Mack. Thank you, Lee, who says, Adam, can vote all 3 on the poll? They're all shite. There's 4, I think, mate, in there. Right, so we've got a little poll. We're playing a little bit of a game because these are the 4 players that I feel are under pressure going into next summer's transfer window. And I just want to, from where we are right now, what you've watched with Ineos, how brutal they are, how they don't wait around for underperforming players to just simply fester away and rot. What player is most likely to be out the door first come next summer's transfer window? And this isn't players that contracts are running out like Lindelof and Maguire and them sorts of players. So we've got Antony, Casemiro, Rashford and Mason Mount. Who is most likely? I see them 4 as the ones that Ineos will be looking to move on. Notably, very high-wage players and underperforming players, you could say, as well. That's sad, that, isn't it? If you didn't see the video earlier on today, guys, where we went through the top 10 earners at Manchester United, and about 6 or 7 of them you couldn't even say were guaranteed to be in the starting lineup at United. Sorry state of affairs, honestly. Keep liking the video, guys. We're over 750 already. We're only a few minutes in. Thank you. Make sure you've subscribed and get all of your Forget it. Stop talking, Adam. Let's get on with the news. Okay, Sekou Koune. What is going on? Why am I talking about him? Why is he Manchester United's secret weapon? Well, we know that he has been integrated and will be integrated into the academy setup. £1 million United have paid for him. The highly rated central midfielder, holding midfielder. You only have to watch the clips from the Under-17s World Cups and everything that was happening there, how he ran the show completely, how he complements his other players around the team and lets them do what they need to do, i.e. basically what Ten Hag needs Agate to do. And we talked about squad depth and needing players. It is far among sources from Manchester United that the contract that Sekou Koune is on is that he will be fast-tracked a lot quicker, being 18 and at a level where United feel, after the recruitment and the scouting reports from everyone involved in the club in bringing him to Manchester United, is that he is ahead of quite a few of the other players and is definitely going to see, first of all, training time with the first team, and obviously then we'll see matchday squad time, possibly first team football this season. Yes, this season. That is where United are at right now with Koune and where they feel he is at in his development. Christopher Vivel was key in bringing him in. We covered this before and how crucial a role he has played and why Manchester United, like yesterday was announced, are keeping Vivel on, are expected to keep him on after the January transfer window. So with Vivel actually still being at the football club and going into the January transfer window at least, does that not tell you that Manchester United might actually be busy in January as well? The fact that they want him there to oversee that window also. Interesting one on that. We didn't pick up on that the other day. But United are looking to extend Vivel past that on a more permanent basis anyway. And you see what United are doing with the staff at the moment. Boyle's going. Obviously, they're looking for another director to come in now as well. But Vivel in situ. And Vivel was very key for bringing Sekou Koune to Manchester United. Very key indeed. In fact, he'd already bought another 5 players for Salzburg, when he was there in the Red Bull group from the same club, Guiders FC. And Koune is the latest to come through. They feel, in terms of and what Vivel did when he was with the Red Bull group, so they had the feeder clubs, which sort of played the players in, young players. They came through there, they developed there, they moved on to Salzburg, then they moved on to Red Bull, then they were sold, and that's how they made their money and funded their structure. It's having the right people in place to know. And all of the reports, and this isn't just something that's blown up, because I want to bring in a little bit of what Graham Souness has said regarding this as well. Steve, who's just donated 5 memberships, Palm, Tobogo, Mike, Welsh to the bone, and Hardeep, welcome to the members club, my friends. What I want to say is, like, we have been said as United fans and United as a whole, as a club, we apparently build players up to be something that they're actually not. We're clutching at straws, basically. We're trying to make a superstar out of a player that's only just played his first game. That's what everyone tries to say about Manchester United. A lot of the time, they're just scared that they might actually come through and we might actually crack it. They're trying to make it look like United are not relevant and talk their way out of it and convince people that they're not going to be back to their best. Look, we will get there one day. It just depends bleeding when. That's all. But it will be a when and not an if with Manchester United. But what happens before is that we bring players through, like, for instance, Adnan Januzaj, Wilson. Lots of other players come through the academy at Manchester United. You only have to look at the ones that's going back to the day, Borthwick Jackson, players like this. Now, Fosu Mensah. All of these young superstar or so-called superstar players coming through. And it just never happened. Because we didn't have the right development. We didn't have the right structure to guide these players through. Now, the only reason I feel like this, for instance, and a player that we actually Manchester United have brought in from the outside into our academy is going to work is because we have got that structure in place. And what happened with Vivel when he was in the RB group was he was in charge of determining where that player was at in terms of development and where he should fit in the actual group, the Red Bull group, in terms of progress. Like he did it with Haaland. He convinced Haaland to stay another year within and develop, and then sold him for more to Borussia Dortmund. There were plenty of players that Christopher Vivel actually was in charge of and took through. Sesko was another one that was under his wings as well and brought through from him, and many more. So this is what he was in charge of, like where they fit in, what their progress needed to be, their development plan and everything like that was his role. That's what he was the master at. And making sure that they weren't overcooked, they weren't thrown in too early, they were physically ready for what was to come at that level where they were playing, and then they made that move. And usually it was to make money, because that's what the Red Bull Group was about. Obviously, United would like to make money, but United want to be the club where this player finishes. And we've sort of jumped the gun, and we're actually doing this the right way now. So when I say that Koune could be a superstar at Manchester United, I feel more confident in saying that simply because the structure at the football club is completely different to what it was. And it's not just someone bigging someone up to be something that he's actually not. Because we've had that plenty of times, haven't we, with young players coming through and they're just not ready. Fast-tracked, given big contracts, like Brandon Williams, for instance. He was a good player. Manchester United's captain in the under-21s. Coming through, hitting all of the numbers, fast-tracked in, then given a 75 grand a week contract. Absolute craziness from Manchester United. And again, an example and a failure of the Ed Woodward era at Manchester United. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff. That's what it was. But yeah, that's what I wanted to make a point of. And Manchester United being light in that holding midfield role. Casemiro moving on. And like Fabrizio Romano has just said, and it's going across the bottom of your screen there now in terms of his latest update, Casemiro expected to be at the club until 2025. Look, what you need to separate is all of these players, all of the club plans, and everything involved with Manchester United. Separate them away from Erik ten Hag. It does not matter anymore. This is what I've been trying to say over the last few videos. Ten Hag being in situ has no relation to all of these players. Obviously it does now because he's in charge of them. But what United are building is a team, a philosophy, a culture, and an absolute system, a foolproof system that has worked at other clubs before, which United have not tapped into because we're too arrogant and think we can just do it the United way, whatever that was. Now that that's in place, it doesn't matter who's in charge. This development setup is going to continue going on and on and on. And there are going to be people that are actually telling Ten Hag, no, not yet. No, he's not coming in. And no, you cannot fast-track this player. He isn't got the attributes and isn't ready yet. Koune is. And that's the word that's coming out from all of this. So expect to see images and pictures of him in first team training. And don't be surprised to see this young lad in matchday squads coming up towards the back end of the season. Not yet. And I'll stress that now. Not yet. But still, it will be later on in the season. This is a plan that United have in place. And if Ten Hag utilises it, then all good for Ten Hag. It's definitely going to help him later on down the season. But United, I don't think necessarily, like going into Vival again and just touching on what we were talking about regarding players coming in January. I do believe he's there, but I think it's more probably for the same thing like Koune again, finding them young gems. Nothing of note, but we're looking to develop and we're looking to uncover rather than buy the ready-made thing. And any money spent or significant money spent, and this is proof in what we've done this summer, will be on younger players, very young players. Like the big signing, obviously, when it's all done and the bonuses are paid, will be Lenny Yoro, but he's 18. He's already playing in Europe. He's already playing in a top league in Europe, and he's ready to go. That is rare. Koune, 18. This is the age and the development age right now for players, and when they are coming through and hitting their mark. You look at all of it around the world, you maybe get some 16, 17-year-olds, but 18 is the mark right now when players are actually filling out, gaining that strength that they need, that physicality factor, and the general skill set to actually be able to play some game time within a certain league. Now, whether or not Koune can handle the pressure of playing for Manchester United, that's down to the coaches and the development team at the football club to make sure they get right. Because yes, there's fast-tracking and then there's blindly fast-tracking players. I think that we're doing this right with Koune. I think everything has been put in place properly. And this is why Vival is absolute key in all of this happening right now. And I think he will make sure that United do get this right, that we do bring this lad through at the right time, and it is in the right circumstances. I.e., you've got Manuel Ugarte, you've got Casemiro there already still at the club. And Casemiro still being here, and this young lad coming through, training alongside him. Say what you want in terms of Casemiro on the pitch right now, but his knowledge is everything. Knowledge is gold. And Kune will learn a lot off Casemiro. And hopefully take different bits of Manuel Ugarte's game, Kune's game, and going back to the age thing again. You only have to look at the other players in Manchester United squad. Obviously, Alejandro Garnacho, 19. Kobe Mainu, 18. 21 in Rasmus Højlund. We just had Collier come through, another teenager. So, yes, this is developed. And they're all, everyone on the talk and every single report that I read, and it's in a few different publications as well now, is that this contract isn't your usual academy one. There is aspirations for Kune to come through into the first team and actually make it. We're about to announce, like we've discussed before, Obi Martin, Lascelles and Overy as well. So that was the right back from Australia. Lascelles has come through as well. And obviously, Lascelles the winger, by the way. And obviously, the number 9, Obi Martin, the one that everybody's waiting for and looking forward to seeing. I think that one will be the big one when it comes through, because we know we need goals, but he's only 16. 2 years younger than what Kune is. Honestly, it's a future-proof plan for United. And whether Ten Hag's around for it or not, it doesn't matter anymore. That's the whole point that I wanted to make with this. This is a structure plan. And finally, United. And it's hard for fans to see past what's happening right now. It is for me. I'm not going to just say I can see this goal. I can see it, but I can't help myself worrying about what's happening in the short term still and where we're at with Ten Hag and this team. I have to pay to go and watch this team play and just underperform week in, week out. It's not good. But what I can see now and what I keep on banging on about constantly on every video, and I'm sorry, I'm going to keep on doing it because everyone who thinks I am negative, I'm not. I'm real. But this is a massive positive. You just need to give this plan time behind the scenes and watch it come through. We've seen it happen. Look, the progress and the plan that's seen Haaland go through, that Sesko's going through right now. RB Leipzig convinced Sesko to play another year so they could develop him more, prove that he is the player that he is, and make more money. That's the Vival plan. He's left now, obviously, but they stuck to the same plan. That was developed with him in charge. He is an absolute genius when it comes to this. And you only have to look at the history of the players that the man has brought through. It's scary. It is absolutely scary. Go look at some of the players that he has actually developed and brought through that RB system. It's the same with what happened at Haaland. He convinced him to stay one more year at Salzburg, and he absolutely smashed it to pieces, Haaland. Bang, big money to Dortmund. Bang, big money sell on to Manchester City. Job done. Funds in place, funding the football club and their whole development system. And that is their model at RB Leipzig. And that was the man who was playing a massive part in doing all of it. And he's ours. And I'm not surprised that he is now being put forward for an extension or more permanent deal at Manchester United. There was a lot of information. I do apologise. I know you like to get all of the information, and information is king and everything like that. So hopefully I've filled you in enough on that, and we're going to get into the comment section and get your thoughts on things. Do get involved in the poll, guys. It's a little bit other end of the scale. I do think these 4 players are the ones with the heads on the chopping block, though, for next season. Which player will be the first out the door next summer? And these are not players that are on the last year of their deal that will be released, like Lindelof, like Harry Maguire. Anthony, Casemiro, Rashford or Mason Mount. Casemiro at the moment, I think he's just hot topic, innit? But like Fabrizio said then, probably feeding the poll and the results of the poll right now, saying that Casemiro is going to be United until 2025. That will be 3 years of his contract done, heading into his 4th. United probably looking to move him on then. I feel like Casemiro will be moved on in the summer. I think Anthony will be moved on in the summer. I understand people in the chat saying, look, who he's going to buy Anthony. Honestly, like someone will. Ineos will get rid of Anthony. They will. Over 1,300 in the room, 326 likes. Surely that doesn't equate. Please get them likes up, everybody. Make sure, like many of you have already in this video alone, subscribe to Forever United TV. You won't miss out on anything. Small, minor updates with Manchester United. It doesn't matter. I've got it covered. Like the video, subscribe. Make sure that you get involved in the chat as well, because that's where I'm going right now. Gehan says, I can see what United are doing. The issue is they have Bruno leading them. He's a terrible leader. This new young team coming up, Erik ten Hag won't be there. He's far too stubborn to learn from his mistakes. I did ask the question if you feel like Ten Hag will be there for all this to come through. And with Gehan on that one, in terms of Ten Hag probably won't see the fruits of the labour and everything with these young lads coming through. I just feel like, yes, he has helped some of these lads come through. He has been part of it. I've said this before. I do know that he does communicate a lot with the youth academy coaches in the development side of players. He doesn't have to do that as much anymore because, yes, we have a structure in place and people doing that job, managing below Ten Hag and managing above him. Concentrate on the first team, Eric. Stop talking about things that really don't matter right now because people are in situ doing them jobs for you. Get the first team playing football. Again, he's running out of excuses, hence the crazy comments that are flying out of his mouth right now. He needs wins, is what he does. But yes, I do believe that this will all come through within 2 or 3 years and Ten Hag won't be at the football club. And hopefully United have got the right man in place. How long do you reckon it'll be before we're talking different manager names again? They've already started to sneak in a little bit now, haven't they? Right. Our new song at the next game, Glory Days by the Big Boss. That's all we got now, as in Bruce Springsteen. Glory Days. Sorry, yeah. That just killed everyone with that. Free Baying Day. Who is Free Baying Day? Someone tell me in the chat. It's one of the mods that's changed the name. Is that Gray or Stu or someone that's trying to play with me? Is this the same plan Eric speaks of? Because I assume Eric's plan involves tactics and a philosophy. I don't know what philosophy Ten Hag's talking about. Ten Hag's philosophy is 7 years down the line. He has you believing that Manchester United should be happy with the standards that we're playing right now and that it will all be okay because he's going to be in situ for years. Be patient, be patient. Sorry. By the end of this season, 3 years is enough. Adam, on the early video, you mentioned youth teams doing well. What style are they playing at City? Pep makes sure the youth team plays the same style as the senior team. I've talked about this before, Dill, mate. They need to be playing exactly the same. And they do play fast-flowing, attractive football. They press high. They have fast defences, mind no, and are very dynamic. As in, they get the ball, they move it around quick. They all take the ball in very precarious positions. They're all comfortable at the back. They play a very, very high-risk game of football, the youth. Just look at the games. Go on YouTube. You can watch all of the games back, guys. Just go and watch the under-18s and how they play. Honestly, it's night and day. It really is. Everything else at the club works apart from the first team right now. It's scary, isn't it? Like, the one main thing is not working. Like, the big cog is effed. The little ones are all trying to, like, come on, son, get going, get going. They're all trying their best to actually kickstart the big cog, which is the first team. But it's having none of it. It's just rusted up to hell with all the neglect and everything that's happened in the way that the club has been run and the deadbeat players that are still hanging around that just cannot cope. It is ultimately a dead end for the first team right now. Someone needs to find the way out of the maze. Someone needs to get that magical skeleton key that can open that door to free this team and get them playing, because we have got players. We have got players. We have the legend is in the house. Mr. Nubian Parrot is in. Yes, indeed. The future is very bright. It is exciting, but time is of the essence. Good show. My man, legend, super chat from Nubian. Thank you so much, my friend. Absolute legend of the show. Always dropping bomb super chats in there. I have actually invested some of the money today in a new little gadget, which is going to bring us some extra content, guys. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, Saturday, I am unleashing it. Hopefully it works. Stay tuned, everybody. You make me giggle when you say Vival. Giggle when you say Vival? Sounds like a Saturday morning program, doesn't it, or something that. To be fair, I reckon we need Mount. We lack his energy massively against Liverpool. Look, anyone who's getting completely convinced, and you know what, Matthew, you have got a point there, mate. I'm not disregarding it with what I'm about to say either. Trust me, I get where you're coming from. But this is just an outcome of Ten Hag convincing everybody that Mount and Bruno was the way forward. Look, he stumbled upon a system at the end of last season, which he's tried to implement at the start of this season. And yes, it looks great when you've got loads of players running around and you can get a high press and win the ball back high. It gets found out. It gets found out very, very quickly. And in our last game, a manager who's been in the country for 2 minutes, who hasn't played or managed at the highest level at all, in fact, he's, some would say, lesser of a manager than Ten Hag, in Arne Slot at Liverpool, who openly dissected Manchester United's tactics on national TV. In 2 minutes. 2 minutes he did it. It's clear, it's obvious. It's easy to dissect Manchester United's press. And Liverpool cottoned onto it instantly. It only takes a bit of research to do it. Double false nine, Mason Mount and his energy. Like, everyone was going on about it. Oh, this is it. We've found the... No, we've not found the answer. Because we don't score goals with that. And you can win the ball back as much as you want, but if you can't do anything with it, it gets tiresome. Players run out of steam. And if you haven't scored a goal in the first half, you end up struggling late on in games. Lo and behold, yeah, there you go. Look, Liverpool set traps all over the pitch for Manchester United and that so-called press. And they absolutely battered us with it. Mainu isolated, Casemiro obviously isolated. And then they said, well, what have you got now? They brought him in. They set traps for United to go in and close Liverpool. They broke over it with ease because Liverpool have got competent ball players in midfield, which United really don't have enough of. And they have that strength and power and pace that we don't have. There is a case for having better players. But there is a case for actually buying players that fit the system you want to play. And Arne Slot has just walked into a fast-flowing Liverpool side from the Klopp era, which he's found easy to adapt to and put his game plan to. And to be honest, when you're coming up against United, who he described as simple tactics to easily overcome, then you're on a win straight away, aren't you? You really are. United Spotlight, it's been 10 months a member. He's just renewed his membership. Thank you so much, mate. Until Erik ten Hag is gone, we won't see progress on the pitch. Sadly, a lot of people saying the same thing now with that. Tarek Post says, I'm a United fan and live in Holland. Here I support Feyenoord. When I heard Arne went to Liverpool, I knew he could be really good for him. It could be really good for him. He did this type of interview a lot in the Netherlands. Thanks for that, mate. You know what? Watching him in that interview and listening to him speak, I don't doubt it at all. I think he's very open in the media and TV, isn't it, if I'm right in saying that in Holland. Like, obviously, Ten Hag, when he was working for Dutch TV in the in the Euros, very open. Like, it was just like, say what you want it. It's actually, there is something to that, and I think it is encouraging as well. We should do that a lot more. I still remember the time when Ten Hag dropped an F-bomb on Sky, to be honest. That was funny. But yeah, over 400 likes, over 1,300 in the room. Thank you, everybody. Keep your likes coming in. Let's see if we can get to near 600 live likes. That's your target for today. We want 1,000 for the whole video when it goes up after YouTube has finished the live as well. Make sure you get your comments in on the show after the live is also finished and everything we're talking about. He won trophies over Patricia, and can't deny, though, it's not only what to judge, not what I want to judge. Rajat, are you trying to defend Erik ten Hag there? Good on you, mate. Brave. If that is what you're doing, sorry. It might have been Slot. I don't know. Liverpool manager speaks better English than Erik ten Hag, to be honest. Yeah, I know. That is one thing. Like Ten Hag, English, difficult. Very difficult. Is it not common sense that 3-man compact midfield are going to run over a 2-man midfield? Adam, Bruno gets to drift anywhere he wants and the hero ball the whole game. No positional discipline at all. Ryan, you're echoing what I said, mate. Positional discipline is something that Ten Hag needs to get into Bruno or just take him out of the team. Well, Bruno is lethal. Bruno is our best creative player and our one standout player over a sustained period of time. But if you're a system manager and the system breaks down because one player isn't doing his job, then that player either needs to be pulled aside and trained into it and then given a chance to perform again, hopefully at the right level for that system, or you're hooked. I keep saying it. Players learn a lot when they're out of the side. Watching from the sidelines, if you're going on that pitch every single week and you're going straight back into the first team, week in, week out, then you obviously feel like you're doing something right. You must feel like you're doing something right because you're never being dropped. As soon as a player is dropped, yeah, you could say it may have the negative effect on things because it puts that element of doubt in a player's head and they're thinking, oh, have I lost it? What's happened? Well, no, if you're a professional footballer, that should be the biggest impetus to get your ass in gear and get going again and try and figure out why I've been dropped. Listen, like these professional footballers, they pay attention to everything. I'm sure Erik ten Hag has got them drilled in videos after the game. I remember Van Gaal when he had players watching on tablets the games back and all of the mistakes and then having to go back to him and tell the manager where they made mistakes in the game having watched it back. This is how detailed it is. And near enough all Dutch managers are the same. They all want to play that Cruyff-style football. They all just have their own little style on it, don't they, and how they play it. And I think you've seen the difference. Now, I don't know what Erik ten Hag's is, but the others, like I said, we've seen it before. It doesn't usually win in the Premier League. We'll say that. And it gets found out quite quickly. But obviously, bigger tests are coming for Slot and Liverpool yet. But still, you've got to be impressed with how he started anyway and how he's got into his team. I'd say it's a breath of fresh air. It's not because it's Liverpool. But like you said, it just shows that it can happen. Like, you've got the managers that are coming into this league that are having massive impacts instantly, except for Ten Hag. Who is your preferred coach to replace him? Right now, if it's in the season, I would take, let's say, for instance, the reality side of things. It comes to Christmas, January. I think you just put Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge until the end of the season. See what he can do. No knee-jerk reaction, but Tuchel was always my man who was available. If you could get Nagelsmann out of Germany, he is number one for me all day long. He is perfect for Manchester United, in my opinion. And I've always said that. It was Nagelsmann, then Tuchel. I didn't have Van Nistelrooy in the reckoning, but I think with him coming in, it's obviously pricked up a lot of people's ears as to the option that is there for bringing Van Nistelrooy through. So you can always see why United have brought Van Nistelrooy in. I don't think he would have been a permanent managerial appointment, no, if we were looking for a number one to replace Ten Hag. I think there is a method in the madness with bringing him into the coaching and the number two role. I think there's more to come from that. Meccano, no, shut your mouth, don't swear. De Zerbi, oh God. Honestly, watching De Zerbi getting the best out of Greenwood just pains the hell out of me. It really does. Hopefully, and do you know what the best thing about Mason Greenwood is right now? He's never staying at Marseille while he's playing like that. And you know what that means? Money for United because of that massive sell-on clause. So keep playing the way you're playing, Greenwood. And when you're sold on to someone else, Manchester United will have a nice little fund waiting for them there. But if he carries on at this trajectory, Mason Greenwood at Marseille, there is not a chance in hell that he stays at Marseille. And they know how to get a fee. So this all bodes well for United. So look at Greenwood and say, yeah, could have been, and we missed out. But also look at it and go in, actually, that could be funding Manchester United big time. It could. Almost at 500 likes. Thank you. Over 1,400 in the room, everyone. The subscribers are flying. Thank you, everyone. Welcome all new subscribers to the channel. Get your comments in. We try and read out as many as possible. We're going to move on to that Europa League list of players. The Europa League squad is out, by the way, guys. And Tyrell is in the squad. Malacia is back, people. Proof that we were right in the the recovery team's reports on Tyrell Malacia working well, no repercussions, no issues at all, no setbacks whatsoever. He's running on grass, he's running around cones. It won't be long before he's back in first team training and getting up to speed in terms of system. Oh God, there's that word again, system. Hey, at least he's running and going around cones anyway. Forget about the Forget about the tactics bit. At least we got another pair of legs anyway. But yes, Tyrell Malacia is the headline out of the dropped Europa League squad that Manchester United have announced today. The bigger news was that Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho weren't in the A-list. That's because they are in the B-list. And that doesn't mean degrading or anything like that. No, it also means that United can have other players in, because you can be classed as a B-list player for the Europa League if you have been at a club a certain amount of time from a certain age. And both Garnacho and Mainoo fall into that category. I think it's at a certain age before 2003, and I've played at the club for 3 years and been at the club for 3 years and available to the first team for 2 years, and that's what Mainoo and Garnacho fall under. So they are classed as B-list players, not A-list players. Don't worry, they can play in the Europa League. Of course, we're going to need them in the bleeding Europa League. Right, comments in, guys. Come on, tell me what you want to know. Wayne has just renewed his membership. Thank you. Eden Adam, hope you're well. Ten Hag in 100%. Thanks, mate. Love the membership renewal. Not so keen on the Ten Hag one. Prove me wrong. That's all I'm going to say. Bounce back, says Tom. I like it. I know the video you're referring to as well. Malasia's development period is over. God knows what he will be now. Look, it's not development. I said it wrong. It's progression. It's recovery. It's him being back on grass, having had a absolute balls up of an operation, and coming back from that. That's the important thing that you need to know. And that's where he is at. And that is everything for Manchester United right now. To have another player back in our ranks like that, giving us squad depth, is more than welcome right now. And you know what? He brings that energy. He brings that enthusiasm. And you know what? A player there that will be chomping at the bit to get back in that side. And that's what we want. Another player willing to run through brick walls for Ten Hag. We need all of that and some, don't we? We really do. And hopefully, he is going to bring that back for us. I still remember was it his debut against Liverpool in the first season for Ten Hag? I think it was, wasn't it? He was tearing around, absolutely smashing into Liverpool players, wasn't he? Oh, the good old days, eh? The good old days. Oh, man. When we thought that Ten Hag was the right man, I was fully convinced. And then he turned into this weird character last season, like completely spitting out non-factical statements and convincing us all we were watching Prime Brazil, it would seem at times. Except we wasn't. Manchester United looking for new staff. Obviously, you've seen the reports regarding Manchester United letting go of O'Boyle as well. He will be gone very, very soon. United looking to bring in more people. They're actually looking at the guy over there from Manchester City. He's been at City, Spurs, and at England as well. Let me just try and find out. I can't remember his name now. But yeah, we all know who he is. I'm sure you've seen the headlines. I'm just trying to find it. I'll pick it up now. It may take me a minute to find it. Oh, for God's sake, Adam. I do apologise, everybody. Did you guys see that story as well about Manchester United on Michael Elise and trying to bring Sir Alex Ferguson in? That's how desperate they was to actually get Michael Elise in at one point. That is pretty strange, to be honest. Like, were we that desperate? Did we need to be that desperate? No, we didn't. And I don't know why anyone would even go to Sir Alex Ferguson anymore. It just shouts out desperation, doesn't it? It really does. Sam Erif, Manchester United are bringing in former Tottenham and Manchester City executive Sam Erif as their interim performance director. So performance director coming in as well for Manchester United. More staff. We like a strong team, don't we, off the pitch? Ineos, they got plenty of people in place to help the manager. Let's just say that. But still, it's all about results on the pitch. That's all that matters. And there's nothing that this guy coming in can do to help Ten Hag right now. But again, going back to what we started at the top, the development side of things, the production of players and young academy players being brought in as well and purchased, all of that is in real good health right now for United. And the stronger, more experienced directors and people of the know coming into Manchester United, the better. There's only one man that really should be fearing anything right now at United, and that's our friend Mr Ten Hag getting this team into gear. But yeah, we are going to be coming back into hellfire when we return from international duty. I think in terms of the internationals, I think Bruno and Dalot are playing tonight for Portugal. I think tomorrow night we've got Argentina. They're playing. I'm sure England are on Saturday playing their game. Who've we got there? So Maguire and Mainu over there, and then everywhere else where they're playing as well, scattered out. But yeah, I think the first games are tonight, so hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, touch whatever you can, any lucky charms you can get your hands on. Pray that all of Manchester United's players come through this international break unscathed, because we're going to need all hands on deck for this coming group of fixtures. I've talked about the Europa League and how difficult that is. Like the squad announcement today brings it home, and how close it actually is right now to Manchester United kicking their campaign off against FC20. By the way, guys, in terms of them home matches, we are running a prize offer in our partnership with Football Prizes. As you can see down the right-hand side there on the visual on the screen, you can win tickets to all of the United home games in the Europa League. They're all hospitality tickets as well. So food and drink and all of that shabam, all that stuff. You also, in the main draw, can get a Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo signed shirts, framed, fully authenticated as well. The real deal, trust me on that one, guys. So if you want to get into that, the link is in the description. I'll pop it into the chat in a minute as well. But yeah, get your tickets there. Buy only what you can afford. I've got to state that as well, everyone. And do give yourself a chance by getting in that draw and trying to get hold of that great prize, that frame shirt for Bruno and Kobbie Mainoo, and maybe some tickets. Then you can actually come and see me and have a say and get on United, get onto United's ins and outs and issues around the games. You've seen all of the footage after the Liverpool game. That's what we're all about: honest, real opinion, and that's how it's always going to be. But yes. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, yes. Sorry, I almost forgot about the stadium setup. More and more little rumours regarding the new stadium. Look, I think we all know that the new stadium is going to happen now. I think it's all leading that way. But United looking to renew the Super League final, the Grand Super League final, the Rugby League showpiece game. United have held it for, I think it's about 20 years now, a couple of decades we've been running it. They're looking to extend that as well right now, Manchester United, but looking into the bigger future as well. They're looking to secure it for the new stadium, it would seem. So signs are that United are looking to secure future other sporting events as well, be it Manchester United or the new stadium. Look, if they were going to redevelop Old Trafford, I don't think they would have been able to hold the Super League final. The fact that they are looking to renew the contract for the next few years means that Old Trafford is going to stay in the state it is. And like we know, we're going to find out what the plan is going to be by the end of this calendar year as well. So, obviously, if United are looking to host this final and hold its capacity, that obviously means no redevelopment, meaning, yes, indeed, a new stadium will be built on site while Old Trafford is still being used. And that, ultimately, guys, is your full update on everything Manchester United this evening. All I want to say is, again, thank you, everybody, mods, everyone who was in the chat, all of the super chatters. I'm going to run through them now. Obviously, the main man himself with the absolute mega super chat, Nubian, gifted memberships from Steve Brindle, renewed memberships from United Spotlight and Wayne Finnegan, Lee Mack with his super chat as well. You are all absolute legends. Everybody else, new members, current members, mods, fantastic job. I'm going to end the poll there as well. Over 1,700 votes on the poll. And that was, which player is first out the door next summer? Not the released players, i.e. players on the last year of their contract like Maguire and Lindelof. I give you four options of Casemiro, Antony, Rashford and Mason Mount. Mason Mount came bottom of the pile with only 4% of you saying that he would be out. Rashford's got 13% of the vote, Antony 28%. And leading the way by a country mile is our man Casemiro with 53% of the vote. That is your Manchester United update for this evening. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Forever United TV. Give the video a like on the way out, and we will hit that targeted 600 like mark while we are actually live. So thank you again. Absolute smashing it, everyone. Really appreciate all of your support. Stay tuned, subscribed, like the video. You'll get fully up to date with everything that's going on with Manchester United here on Forever United TV. I'll see you all bright and early in the morning, 8 o'clock with your morning update show. Have a good evening, everyone.